Okay, we'll reconvene after closed session, but first we'll have our flag salute. Please stand and join us. Councilman Hargrove is going to lead us.
Everyone, please stand and place your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And I'd like to ask our attorney Ballantyne to please report out of closed session.
Closed session and discuss both items listed on the closed session agenda, beginning with item A, conference with real property negotiator concerning the properties identified as 13339 and 13399 Central Avenue, with the APNs listed on the agenda, negotiating party being Johnson 1990 Revocable Trust, care of Brett Johnson, trustee. The City Council received information on the price and terms of a potential acquisition of those properties, provided direction, and no further reportable action was taken. Item B, City Council held a discussion on the liability claim, with the claimant being John Berg, claim against the City of Chino. City Council received an update, provided direction. No further reportable action was taken on that claim as well. That concludes the report out of closed session.
Thank you very much. City Manager Ballantyne, do we have any additions or revisions to the agenda?
I have no changes to the agenda, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Under public announcements, first, I'd like to say how great it is to get back to normal and be here in our City Council chambers. It's been a long road, and we're excited to see a semblance of normalcy. However, the Council and I realize that even as we are beginning to phase in our normal routines, our country is experiencing very difficult circumstances with the ongoing nationwide civil unrest. In response, as many of you have probably seen, neighboring agencies have enacted emergency curfews. I want to reiterate that the City of Chino does not currently have a curfew in effect. The protests that have occurred in our community have remained peaceful, and we have no inclinations that that is going to change. The City and the Chino Police Department are closely monitoring the situation in our community and neighboring jurisdictions and are prepared to adjust if necessary. Nevertheless, once again, Chino residents have proven that they are above the fray and can voice their opinions, anger and frustrations through peaceful and impactful means. This is important because as we maintain calm in Chino, our local businesses can also begin to open and return to normalcy. As our businesses open, I encourage everyone to go out and support our local businesses. A listing of some of our local businesses currently operating can be found by visiting www.cityofchino.org and visiting our COVID-19 page. Additionally, the County of San Bernardino has included a map of COVID-compliant business partners. Here you will be able to locate all businesses in Chino that have opened their doors pursuant to the safety regulations outlined by the county. This map can be located by visiting www.sbcovid19.com, selecting COVID-compliant business program, and scrolling down to view map. For all questions pertaining to local businesses, please call our administration department at 909-334-3304. Lastly, we're excited to announce that beginning Saturday, June 6th, our skate park and basketball courts will be opened. Additionally, I'd like to announce that as of yesterday, the city reopened its batting cages to the public. For information regarding our parks, please contact the Community Services Department at 909-334-3258. Next on the agenda is public comments. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the City Council about subjects that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. Due to council policy and Brown Act requirements, action will not be taken on any issues not on the agenda. Ordinance number 97-08, the Chino Municipal Code Section 2.04.090 limits speakers to no more than 5 minutes in which to address the council, except as provided under Government Code 54954.3B2. First, I'd like to call up Mr. George Sasso from the Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills. He's going to lead us in a word of prayer. Anyone who would like to join us, please stand.
Let's bow our heads. Lord, we come before you, and Lord, I thank you. We thank you for the mayor, the city council, the city manager, the chief of police, the management team, and everyone that works for this city. We thank you for their leadership. We ask that you would continue, especially at this critical time, to give them extreme wisdom and knowledge to direct everything properly, Lord. That they would know where to put every penny, Lord, and they would know how to lead this city. We thank you for their leadership in the past, and we ask again that you continue to be with them and guide them. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, George. Angela, has anyone submitted written comments this evening that they would like to get into the record?
Community Relations Specialist, Chaffey College, and she states, although things are challenging and uncertain, our Chaffey College faculty and staff are committed to helping all students successfully transition to Chaffey College. High school students within the Chaffey College High School District are eligible to enroll in our dual enrollment online classes. Take advantage and enroll for the summer 2020 and fall 2020 semesters. The registration process is done online. Dual enrollment classes are free for all high school students within the Chaffey College School District. For additional information, visit www.chaffey.edu/admissions/high_school.shtml. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on an item that's not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent calendar. Do any council members wish to have any items pulled? Okay, seeing none. Does anyone in the audience wish to have any item pulled? Okay, then we're going to do voice voting this evening and for motion and second, because the way we're seated, not all stations have the same ability to vote electronically. Yeah. So is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion from Mayor Pro Tem Howie.
I'll second.
Second from Councilman Lucio. Is there any opposition? Okay, then the consent calendar passes unanimously. Next is new business. Item number 14, Second Amendment to the Preliminary Engineering and Design Services Pine Avenue Improvement Project ST203, Hellman to Euclid Avenue. This item is to approve an amendment number 2 to the Preliminary Engineering and Design Professional Services Agreement with Proactive Engineering Consultants in the amount of $323,110 for a not-to-exceed amount of $729,610 to include the interim Pine Avenue improvements required to complete the ultimate build-out of Pine Avenue from Euclid to Hellman Avenues. Our staff report this evening is provided by Chris Magascu. I always mess your name up, Chris. I apologize.
I'll say it right
Our city engineer.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Chris Magdoscu, City Engineer, and happy to be here and live, and also supported a local business today with a haircut, so I want you to know I helped everybody out. Pretty simple, straightforward report for you tonight. Action to be taken is to consider a amendment number 2 to the proactive contract. This will provide for an additional interim 4-lane improvement between Euclid Avenue and the future Mayhew and Johnson realigned roadway, which is about a third of a mile in length, including the Euclid and Pine intersection. There's 3 whys we're here for you tonight. The details are outlined in your staff report. One is there's a change in philosophy. We're going to take the lead in this. We feel it's better that we take the lead given the times we're in and the nature of the improvements abutting properties such as Orange County flood and others that would require right-of-way, and we'd have a better chance of being in control in the driver's seat to get the design done in a more streamlined fashion with staff reviewing and working with our consultant directly. So that's number one. In the past, number 2, we used to condition developments, which we actually have in this case, to provide these improvements. But again, this is better that we take the lead on this. Number 2, Pine is a major road. It's a major east-west arterial. Over almost 30,000 cars a day on that road. So let's get this to 3 lanes in each way at the ultimate design, but let's get the interim working through quickly. Number 3, there's a perception, an expectation, and outcome. You'll hear people that say we're building the road to improve Eastvale or other communities to travel through it. That may be the case, but we have an obligation to satisfy the general plan and the specific plan. So again, it's kind of part of that idea. We're continuing with that effort to get the 4 lanes. Notably now, there's a PM peak issue for northbound Pine on the eastbound, northbound Euclid on the eastbound Pine. That improvement that we're working on now as an interim will help alleviate that a lot sooner if we take the lead in it. Scope and limits are routine civil engineering, design, traffic engineering, drainage, structural calculations, and the like. There'll be some utility coordination and major drainage study for the large dip that we're going to be taking out with that. So some of the bottom lines are, as we move forward, we'll be in that, again, better spot to negotiate with stakeholders such as Orange County, Caltrans, Army Corps. And this is due to the fact that those agencies like to work with cities better than they like to work with developers. It's a lot easier. We talk the same language. It also has a nice relationship to CIP and Amer's project, which is the Pine Connector, because there's an overlap. So we'll be able to coordinate that together with departments. It'll be more efficient in our minds. So in closing, your approval of this item will help appropriate some unappropriated funds, but it will balance out with the diff, and there are no impacts to the general fund, which is important to us right now, as discussed at budget workshop last week. So that concludes my presentation. I am prepared to take on any detailed questions.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Council members, do you have any comments or questions? No. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, Angela, do we have any written questions or comments that have come in?
No emails were submitted for this item, Mayor.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, Mayor.
Okay, motion from Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
I second.
second from Councilman Rodriguez. One question, Chris.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
ultimate build-out is 6 lanes, correct?
That is correct.
Because you would address 4 lanes and then you would address 6 lanes.
Yeah.
I want the public to understand the ultimate
Sure.
build-out is 6.
Yeah, the ultimate, I touched on it really quick. I didn't get you the detail. The original proactive contract has the 6-lane ultimate design included. This interim 4-lane was required as a part of the Van Vliet Block 4 project. So yes, but it's just getting us quicker
Okay.
in the design. But
Thank
yes,
you very much. Is there any opposition to approving this item? Okay, then the item is approved unanimously. Item number 15, award of construction contract project SN 191, alley/sanitation reconstruction project, north-south alley between Schaefer Avenue and G Street west of Central Avenue. This is to award a construction contract to CT&T Contract Paving Incorporated for project SN 191. The alley sanitation reconstruction project authorizes expenditures for the following: project contingencies, construction engineering cost, project construction management cost, and inspection costs. Our staff report this evening will be provided by our Director of Public Works, oops. You're not Amer.
Public Works Project Manager Karen Campbell.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks. Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the council. 2 separate alley rehabilitation projects are included in the 5-year CIP budget this year. SN 191 is the north-south alley between Schaefer Avenue and G Street, west of Central Avenue, which includes removal and reconstruction of asphalt pavement, construction of concrete V-gutters, adjusting of existing utility boxes and manholes, and reconstruction of accessible pedestrian crossings. Tate and Associates design cost for this project was $38,267. The project was also reviewed by Owen Group LP, a city consulting firm comprised of engineers and CASP certified experts, specializing in accessibility. On April 7th, 2020, City Council approved the project plans and specifications and authorized the project to go out to bid. The plans and specifications were advertised on Planet Bids, and a notice was also advertised in the Chino Champion newspaper. On May 6, 2020, at 10 a.m., we received 11 bids. CT&T Concrete Paving of Diamond Bar, California is properly licensed and was the lowest responsible and responsive bidder, with a bid in the amount of $240,500. In addition, staff is requesting authorization to spend $24,050 for project contingencies, $20,000 for construction and engineering and services, including geotechnical services, and $24,000 each for construction management and inspection services, bringing the total potential construction cost to $332,550. And that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Karen. Any council members have comments or questions?
Okay.
Okay, any member of the public would like to address the council on this item? Okay, seeing none, then I would entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, motion from Councilman Rodriguez,
I'll second.
second from Councilman Lucio. Is there any opposition? Seeing none, the item passes unanimous.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item number 16, award of contract streetlight maintenance, repair, and upgrade. Award a contract to Heritage Design, Build, and Consulting, Ontario, California, in the amount of $43,150.32 for routine streetlight maintenance citywide. Authorize $125,000 for unanticipated work, and authorize $125,000 for LED upgrade work for a potential total contract cost of not to exceed $293,150.32. The staff report this evening will be provided by our Public Works Services Manager, Mr. Dave McAbee.
Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council. Public Works Department is responsible for the maintenance and repair of the city's streetlights, which includes routine maintenance, unanticipated repairs, and upgrades to LED technology. Unanticipated repairs include things such as streetlight pole knockdowns from traffic accidents, vandalism, and in-ground wiring repairs. In an effort to reduce energy cost and continue the transition to LED technology throughout the city, staff plans to upgrade approximately 500 streetlights to LED each year. Instead of replacing older style high-pressure sodium vapor fixtures, when repairs are needed, staff intends to upgrade these lights. LED lighting provides energy usage cost savings, a much longer service life, and better quality light output, improving safety and aesthetics during nighttime hours. Specifications were prepared and a request for proposals was published on Planet Bids. On April 22nd, 2020, the city received 2 proposals. Heritage Design, Build, and Consulting of Ontario, California received the highest rating and submitted the lowest cost proposals among all 3 compensation schedules. Therefore, staff recommends that City Council award a contract to Heritage Design, Build, and Consulting in the amount of $43,150.32 for routine streetlight maintenance and authorize $125,000 for unanticipated work. Staff is also requesting authorization to spend up to $125,000 for streetlight upgrades to LED for a potential total contract cost not to exceed $293,150.32. That concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any, Tom?
Yeah, just a quick question, Mr. McAbee. So the city has 8,550 streetlights throughout the city, right?
That's correct.
But the city only own 3,700, is that correct?
That's correct. SCE owns about 2,700,
Right.
and then we have some that are HOA owned, and everything else belongs to the city.
I didn't realize that we have less than 50% of the streetlights in the city are not owned by the city. I had no idea. Interesting. Okay. So, but that's a lot of bulbs to replace, right?
Yes, sir.
I know mine have gone out a couple times in the street, and I've called, and boy, when you in a cul-de-sac, when the light goes out at the end, it gets dark in the cul-de-sac. So anyway, so I'm glad to see we're going to LED. That's great. Thanks.
Any other questions?
I concur with Tom. LED is a lot better.
Any members of the public want to address the council on this item? Okay, seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Howie makes a motion.
I'd like to second.
Second from Councilman Rodriguez. Any opposition? Seeing none, the item passes unanimously. Next is mayor and council reports, but Angela, I thought we were going to have a report from Supervisor Hagman this evening.
Mayor Supervisor Hagman sends his regrets he was unable to attend the meeting tonight.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so as I mentioned, next item on the agenda is mayor and council reports. I had a busy couple of weeks. Wednesday, the 20th, the morning started out with the virtual mayor's breakfast with about 12 of the ministers, local ministers, participating. After that was the Water Master Appropriative Pool Confidential session. Following that was the State of a City meeting with Zeb from the chamber and our staff to strategize how and what we're going to do this year due to the impacts of COVID. Then in the afternoon, I participated in the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority nominating committee for the next SBCTA chair and vice chair. Thursday, the 21st, I attended the virtual Water Master Advisory Committee meeting, and then the League of California Cities webinar on planning for an uncertain future. And the subject was city finances during and after COVID-19. Both City Manager Ballantyne and I were participants in that webinar. Friday the 22nd, there was attended a virtual Water Master Special Board of Directors meeting. Then, let's see, Monday the 21st was Memorial Day, and I watched the video that I participated in making, and I thought it turned out very, very nice. But it was sad not being there. It was a little strange not to be at our special location on Memorial Day. Tuesday the 22nd, participated in a Groundwater Recharge Committee teleconference. Following was the West Valley Mosquito and Vector Control District Board of Directors meeting, also teleconference. Let's see, they approved the resolution 2020-3, which is continuing the assessments for FY 2020 and 21. Board member Ricky Felix, who's also an Upland City Council member, resigned from the board because he's moving to Utah. So I think he was only on this Upland City Council for about 18 months. And then since April, we've had periods of cold weather, so the mosquito activity has been lower than normal, which is good, but the activity is expected to increase due to warmer temperatures. So I ask you all to be careful and wear long-sleeve clothing at night, wear mosquito repellent, and if you do see any mosquitoes during the daytime, be sure to call Vector Control, because those are usually the dangerous Aedes mosquitoes that carry a lot of diseases. And then that afternoon, San Bernardino County Supervisor and Chairman of the Board, Kurt Hagman, had a teleconference regarding COVID. Wednesday, the 27th, was a teleconference with the Water Master Appropriative Pool. Thursday, the 28th, was Water Master Board of Directors teleconference. And then that afternoon, we had our 2020 budget workshop. And it was, I thought it was a very good discussion. We're going to be adopting an interim budget because we're in a very difficult situation along with other communities. We're not really sure what our income is going to be because of the impacts of COVID. So we're going to be very conservative with our estimates on income and try to be very conservative with our expenses because we actually just are not sure what the future is going to bring. Friday the 29th, I filmed a public service announcement about the upcoming July 4th holiday, and then today I participated in the third segment of the Watershed Ambassador Program. And I understand that Councilman Hargrove is going to be on that same program Thursday afternoon. Very, very interesting. It was a four-hour teleconference.
I'll be on there.
And you'll be on that too. Very valuable information. You'll really enjoy it, and excellent speakers. And that's all I have this evening. Mayor Pro Tem Howie.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. I attended a couple of different water workshops, or actually meetings, and then, of course, the budget workshop, which is completely different than we've had for many, many years with the way we don't really know what our income is going to be, exactly what Eunice said, next year. So we'll be watching that very carefully, and hopefully we'll have enough funding to do most of our programs. And that concludes my comments.
Councilman Hargrove.
Okay, thanks. You make me tired just listening to all your stuff. Glad somebody's out there working. And then it was unusual. I seen you with an umbrella during the Memorial Day, and then I looked outside and I said, "Did I miss the rain this morning?" Or
No, it was pre-filmed.
Yeah.
That was
It
crazy.
was great. Yeah, it was nice to watch.
I thought it was
that.
nicely done.
It was really nicely done.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have to report, I haven't attended any meetings. I haven't had any under any of the committees that I'm on. Is just my comments are just I hope everyone remains calm and safe, and enjoy your rights that you have out there, but don't impede on those other people's rights or their property. And we'll get along just fine and get through this too, and move on. So that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Councilman Lucio.
Yes, on the 29th, just like everybody here, I attended the budget shop workshop here at City Hall. I'm also glad that we're back in the chambers instead of doing it virtual over the phone. I want to thank Wes and the Chino Police Department for addressing the encampment that was behind St. Margaret Mary Church. I appreciate that. And I just want to also echo what Mark said. Obviously, we're all for expressing your right to protest, but we just want to make sure that it's just, just protest peacefully, and let's avoid any type of looting or rioting. I know the city of Chino didn't experience any, and I'm very thankful for that. And I just want to say thanks to the police department for always being out there, having a great relationship with the community. And I think that's what always makes a difference is the fact that we're out there talking to people and letting them know that showing the human side. So I appreciate, my hat's off to you. And I want to thank the first responders and the fire department. You guys do a great job as well, reaching out to the community, and thank you for everything you guys do. We appreciate it, and everybody just stay safe and keep your wits about you. We'll get over this, and we'll be back to normal.
Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you. Yes, for the financial department's finance meeting, I want to thank Rob Burns and all the departments for all the hard work. And as I mentioned, it reflected not a couple days, and not a couple weeks. It mentions and involved a lot of months. And what's good about it is that you were able to communicate with each other positively. You had to collaborate, use critical thinking and creativity, which shows very positive, and decision-making, shared decision-making, which is very, very positive on your part, Rob, for leadership in all the departments involved. So that's exceptional. I know that we are, because of this COVID-19, we've taken a hit with sales tax and revenues and stuff like that. But they say after every storm that there's a rainbow, maybe a pot of gold, hopefully. I've been busy with a lot of Zooms, probably like everyone else. Zoom here and Zoom there. You can probably find one every 10 minutes on the internet. But I'm just going to name about 3 of them that I've attended through the National League of Cities and NALEO. The first one there that I attended in the month of May was elected officials, our public leaders often find themselves without warning. And this is dealing with communication as an essential skill set for public officials in a time of crisis. And this is crisis right now. So the whole webinar dealt with how individuals in cities and officials in county and states are dealing with leadership qualities and communication. Second one, which is very important, is the idea of stress management for leaders responding to a crisis. Briefly it said, effective leaders learn to manage stress when making decisions and motivating others. But even the most effective may feel emotionally and physically worn down during the pandemic. As I mentioned before, we're all human beings. We crave socializing with others. It's part of our DNA. and that's what probably hurts the most. For myself, having been a principal in different districts, I sort of like being home. I'm not being able to having to drive to Santa Ana or Montebello or Moreno Valley, so it's sort of nice. Maybe I'm an exception, you know, but it would be difficult to be locked up at home all the time. So the webinar was very helpful. And then the last one here was through the National League of Cities and NALEO, which spoke about the beyond COVID-19 long-term financial impact on communities. And the webinar provided an overview of the projected long-term impact of COVID-19, which we reviewed a little bit here in our budget that's attacking us or affecting us. And it spoke about how states and local jurisdictions are going to have their rainy day funds affected, and tax revenues resources also curtailed. So those are three Zoom webinars that I attended over the last month. Again, I think our Chino PD has done a wonderful job in keeping us safe. I know there was parades and this protest during Sunday this weekend here locally in Chino, and I think we had probably about a very small group that marched down here to City Hall here, but everything was under control. And fortunately, the character of our residents reflect the kind of people we are. We've always been very cooperative with each other. And it's reflected with many of the events that we've have during the year. The 4th of July with over 10,000 families or individuals there, and it's very peaceful. So I am very sure and very positive in thinking and thanking the police department and first responders, the fire department, and taking care of us, all our needs. And then, but yet another sense, I do not condone any type of looting or vandalism, but I do believe in the First Amendment rights, and it has to be done right. And we should look forward to better days very soon. So that concludes my report.
Okay, City Manager Ballantyne, any report this evening?
Yes, Mayor, I have three things real quickly. The first, as it relates to COVID, I'm happy that you announced that we continue to open up things. So again, basketball will be in play, and same with the skate park, as well as our batting cages. So I'm happy to see that. As far as expenditures to date, we've spent roughly $117,000 on supplies, and I'd say of that $117,000, $40,000 is related to technology, so that we're able to provide conferencing and things of that matter. And then finally, you know, as we open up again, I would encourage our community to patronize our businesses here in Chino. Certainly, they're a wonderful asset, and so I would encourage people to buy in Chino. Second thing is after the agenda was posted on Friday, we received word from SBCTA, the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority, and they advised us that the California Transportation Commission may have some funding available, which we can utilize for the Central 60 overpass that we're widening. But time is of the essence. Essentially, they had a slew of projects that actually came in under budget, so there's a pot of money that's available to us. And so we may need to have a special called meeting so that we can submit the 60 Central project, and that would result in a possible savings of roughly $4 to $5 million. So that would reduce our cost. So we'll be in contact with the council to try to schedule that, but we'll have to probably do that before week's end. And then the final thing is I just want to thank the city attorney for celebrating his birthday with us today. So,
Oh, happy birthday, Fred.
Really hard to keep a secret here in this town. Thank you.
That's true. Okay, now, Fred, it's your turn. Since you're the birthday boy, what is your report this evening?
Just a general update. The governor issued a new executive order. His previous orders had placed a moratorium on evictions statewide. The current order extends the authority of cities to place those type of moratoria, but not the statewide moratorium was not extended. So for residential evictions, those were not extended, the moratorium. And that order was approved on May 29th.
Okay.
You've read talking about evictions on your birthday.
Yeah, really? No. Just thought you'd be interested in that general update.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I have.
Chief Simmons.
Thank you. Yes, I just wanted to reiterate to you, Mayor, and the council, and to our community that the men and women of the Chino Police Department condemn the actions of the Minneapolis police officers who were involved in this incident. But we are committed to our community and committed to their right to peacefully protest. And I'm happy to say that the protests we've had in our community have been just that. They've been very peaceful. We want that to continue, but if people do want to come to our community and loot or commit crime, we will hold them accountable. Our mobile field force team has been deployed. They went on mutual aid assistance to the city of San Bernardino on Sunday to help them with their community when it was being looted. And we have extra patrol officers out there throughout the night to help protect our community and our businesses, because a lot of them are still closed and some of them are closing early due to the current conditions, and we don't want them to be vandalized or burglarized during this time. And in light of these renewed focus on race and policing in America, we're in the process of planning a community forum where we're going to invite members of our community to join us and talk about these important issues. And we're hoping to do that next week. And as soon as we have those details, we'll be sure to share them with you. And then finally, I want to thank our partners at the Chino Valley Fire Department. They've opened their doors to us at Station 63 to allow our patrol officers to go in there and use that as kind of an off-site. Station 63 is down in the preserve, and one of our goals is to keep our officers down in the preserve to serve those communities, so they don't have to come up here to write the reports or use the restroom. So they've allowed us to use their facility there to do that, and I just want to thank them. And I want to thank Mayor Pro Tem Howie, because that was actually your idea. You had brought that up in one of these council meetings and asked about that, and they willingly offered that to us. So you'll be seeing their police cars parked in front of that station, and that's what they'll be doing. We're not going to open it up to the public, but it allows our officers to go in there, use the restroom, and type their reports. That's all I have, and I'm available for any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Wes. Any questions this evening? Okay, thank you. And our fire department report.
Mayor, City Council, first let me recognize Chief Simmons saying thank you. And for us, it's we don't look at it as our station, we look at it as our station. So we're happy to have you. It creates a level of safety for us, especially when we're out on calls and those facilities remain vacant. So for that, thank you. We did have an opportunity this weekend to share in another partnership with the Chino Police Department at our training center in midst of all the what we could have been potential chaos. That again, everything stayed really calm. We're very, very thankful for that. So at the fire district, we are doing very well. We're managing the COVID crisis extremely well, to the point I'd like to let the council know and the mayor know that we have, as we've gone out on these calls, we have yet to have anybody of our fire personnel test positive. The reason that's really, really good, not just for our personnel, it just means that we're not infecting the community as well. So we've been very, very proactive and on the front side of making sure that our folks are protected with their PPEs, therefore protecting the residents. And finally, I'd like to just let everybody know that we reopened our over-the-counter process for processing plans starting June 1st, which was this Monday, abbreviated hours from 8 to 4. So those folks that want to get back into business, we want to help you get back into business. And that's all I have for my report, unless you have any questions.
Terrific. Any questions? Well, we've always enjoyed a very good relationship with the fire department. I think the true team between the fire department and the police department is unique, and our residents definitely are the ones that benefit from that. So thank you. Perfect. And tell Chief Shackelford, thank you for opening it up to our PD as well. And Tom, what a good suggestion.
It is. You're very welcome.
Once in a while. Thank you. Okay, I too want to compliment our residents for the way that they have conducted themselves in the protest. This is a terrible situation, and there are many, many people who obviously are very upset and deservedly so. The death was horrible of the gentleman, Mr. Floyd, and there was no excuse or rationale for what was done to him. But at the same time, there is nothing that justifies the damage and the destruction that has been caused to innocent people. That does not bring back Mr. Floyd. It does not help anyone's feelings in this horrible situation at all. In fact, if anything, it just puts salt in the wounds. So, you know, I pray that our community continues to be safe. Everyone has a right to protest and obviously verbalize their discontent and they're upset with this, but nothing gives any of us the right to inflict the damage that has been done to innocent people. And with that, we will adjourn to our next regular meeting, which will be held on Tuesday, June 16th at 7 o'clock with closed session starting at 6 if necessary, unless we are required for a special council meeting because of the availability of some funds that have come up. And that will be announced publicly as soon as we know. So with that, we are adjourned. Please stay safe.